Hey, what's going on? It's Kevin the Tech Ninja here, and today we're taking a look at the newly announced Chevy Blazer EV. I had a chance to take a look at it early this week, and I only had about an hour to do it. Now, I sat down with the product manager and also the lead designer of the Blazer EV to ask some questions and to check it out. Now, this is a show model, so it doesn't run, but I can give you some of the stats they mentioned, but also a lot of it could change depending on when the car comes out, because these are all early estimates. Now, also a disclaimer, I'm not a car guy, but I'm a person who loves to explore new EVs coming to the market. If that sounds good to you, hit subscribe. That really helps the channel out, and yeah. Let's dive into it. The Chevy Blazer is based on Chevy's Altium Platform. The Altium Platform is GM's EV platform. And this gives GM the ability to scale EVs faster and also gives them the choice to add or remove battery clusters depending on the vehicle. They are still making a gas-powered Blazer as well, so if you're not ready for an EV, but you really want a Blazer, you can still buy one too. The Blazer will come in different trims, but the one you are looking at is the SS, and there's also gonna be a police version too. So the entry version of the car is gonna be called the LT1, and that is $48,000 and all the way up to $66,000 roughly for the SS version. Now, depending on the trim that'll dictate the range, but you can get up to 320 miles on a single charge. It has 11.5 kilowatt level 2 charging and standard DC fast charging at 190 kilowatts. Meaning you can charge it up at home overnight without a problem, and you can also fast charge at around 80 miles of range in roughly 10 minutes of charging. There's also different levels of regenerative braking, and that can definitely help with range as well. Now, if you've never driven an EV before, essentially regenerative braking is when you let go of the accelerator, the car starts to slow down as if you're hitting the brake. Now, to me, I think it is a better way of driving, and also it does help you regain some of that energy back into the battery, and I think it's a win-win situation. So this car has that, but it's something you have to toggle on. Now, to me, I think the design of the car looks great. It has an aggressive stance, which I enjoy, but it doesn't scream EV, which is a good thing to me. I think rolling down the street, you just see it as just a SUV that is pretty good looking. I think it is about time that car manufacturers are just starting to make good looking cars that are EVs and not cars that look like EVs, if that makes sense. Now, on the RS and the SS models, there is a full array LED panel out front, which does a whole lot of different lighting effects depending on what's going on. So when you walk to the car, it does a little dance. When you leave the car, it shows a different animation. When it's charging, you get these indicators letting you know what the status of your battery is. Now, I absolutely love the 21-inch wheels on the SS version. I think that makes it look more aggressive. I kind of mentioned that before, but just the aggressive appearance of the car, I think just makes it look good to me. It just stands out for me. Now, when talking about raw numbers, not all the numbers are released just yet, but the SS version gives you 557 of horsepower and 648 pounds of torque. It also has a launch mode called WOW, which stands for wide open watts. That'll get you from 0 to 60 in less than 4 seconds. Look, GM and their launch mode names, I mean, the Hummer had WTF, which was watts of freedom, and now we have WOW with the Blazer. I'm not sure of the standard 0 to 60 time because the launch mode is gonna be a mode you have to put the car in, and that's not true real world driving. I mean, you're not gonna put it in launch mode when you're at a red light, you know? It's just one of those things that they're putting on the cars to kind of get those numbers to look really good, but day-to-day driving, I wonder what the 0 to 60 speed is actually going to be. It does have a Bose audio system, and I wasn't able to test it in the car, but it looks like there's quite a few speakers, and if it's anything like how the new Hummer Bose is set up, it should sound really good. The way Bose and Hummer work together, it made for a really unique sound system, and hopefully the Blazer is going to kind of share some of that stuff. Now, inside the car, there's a horizontal 17-inch display, and it's angled towards the driver, which gives the driver full access to the display right from their seat without having to lunge forward. Now, there's also buttons on the dash too, and you can get to things like wipers and HVAC control without having to touch the screen. There's also a few USB-C ports on the back, some accent lightings, and a nice panoramic roof, but only the front portion will slide back. And also, I like the red seats on this version. Obviously, you could pick different versions, and some of the entry-level versions of this car will only have cloth. The red interior with the red exterior is kind of like a really cool look. I'm not sure if I would do red, but yeah, I like it. It has built-in Supercrews, which is available on all but the entry-level trim, which is essentially autonomous driving on freeways. And I'm not sure if you guys have used Supercrews, but it works really well. It does require a lot of attention from the driver, which is good. And I found it to be very accurate, and it can deal with driving variabilities better than Tesla can. Also, it switches lanes, it slows down, it speeds up without an additional subscription or an additional expense, which is definitely nice. Now, all in all, I only had 1 hour with the Blazer EV. Now, this car should be coming out next year sometime. So as the Blazer gets closer to being final, I'll be sure to have a video for you guys. But I wanna know, what do you think about this car? Is this car the car that you're gonna get to be an EV? Now, they did talk about the tax credit that is not available as of right now because obviously GM has sold so many cars, so the tax credit is not available. But when this car comes out, there may be an additional tax credit to knock that price down even further. But right now, this is kind of what we're at. Kevin the Tech Ninja, have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.